Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/entitled people. In today's episode, Crazy Lady accuses me of kidnapping my stepson. Tries to kidnap him from me. I'm so done with my BF's entitled friend. Entitled girl gets a ride. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Crazy Lady accuses me of kidnapping my stepson. Tries to kidnap him from me. So this happened about a week ago, and I honestly am still fuming from this. I'm not sure if this belongs in this subreddit, but here goes. First, a little backstory. I'm a mixed ethnicity individual. I've been confused for many races over the course of my 29 years on this planet, but I'm literally Caucasian and African American. Usually it can be figured out, but the difference with me is my father is the Caucasian, so therefore my hair is straight. I'm originally from Texas and am usually confused for being Mexican. But now I live in Massachusetts and I've never had an issue with anyone concerning my race until this day. Also, I am married to a Caucasian woman who had a child before we were married. His father is not in his life as much, and I took the responsibility because I love this woman and I love this little boy as if he were my own. He's 4 now and I've been in his life since he was 1. Anyways, on to the story. My wife needed a few things from the grocery store and she needed to run a few more errands, and usually she just goes and knocks things out herself because I'm sleep, I work nights, but this particular day I happened to be awake and I offered to go for her. She works hard and does a lot, so I definitely felt it was necessary to do something for her so she could just relax for the day. I took my son with me so she could rest up and just take it easy, and it gave me time to spend with my son for some bonding. We completed all of the errands, which went smoothly, and then headed to the grocery store to finish up our day. My son, being a typical 4-year-old, was full of energy, running ahead of me, laughing and speaking to everyone he comes across, which I generally don't mind as long as he doesn't hit anyone and stays within eye view. As I'm making my way down an aisle looking for canned corn, my son jogs to the end of it when an older lady is entering at the other end. My son, being the sweet social butterfly he is, approached and exclaims an excited "Hi. Me 4 and me Ryan." Bless his little heart. The lady looked down and says, "Well, hello there. You shouldn't be running around unattended, let's go find your parents." I didn't think anything of her statement because I assumed she just hadn't seen me. "Ryan. Come back here, bud, please." He excitedly runs back toward me and starts turning in circles because, you know, he's 4, lol. I'm still searching the shelves as the lady walks past me and stops behind me. Again, I think nothing of it because it's a grocery store and you have to share the aisles. I turn my basket around and start to walk toward the front cash registers when this lady literally blocks my path. I say excuse me and try to walk around her, and she moves her cart in front of me again. I honestly thought she was just getting confused and said excuse me once again and tried one more time to go around, and she just blocks my path. The following convo ensues. Me, "I'm sorry about that, we'll get out of your way." Lady, "Oh, I don't think so. You're not going anywhere with that child." Me, "You mean my son?" Lady, "That's not your child. He's white. And you're Mexican. You probably didn't even know his name until he said it to me." Me, "Sure, whatever, lady, can you just move? My wife is at home and anxiously awaiting for us." Lady, "Stop your lies. You're not taking him anywhere, you pervert." This whole time my son is standing close to me holding my leg because he was honestly getting scared. I was getting angry because I hadn't had much sleep and I have a short fuse anyway, thanks Dad. Me, "As you can see, he's standing close to me because he trusts me and you're scaring him, so how about you buzz off?" Lady, "No. He's scared because of you. He just doesn't know how to express it yet." She looks at my son. Lady, "Come on now, sweetie, I'm here to rescue you. Come with me." Thankfully, my son was able to communicate to her he wasn't going anywhere with her. But she was having none of it. She literally grabbed my son and began to run. It caught me off guard because I honestly could not fathom what was actually happening. My son starts screaming loudly because he was so scared, and this lady is just like, "Don't worry, sweetie, he won't hurt you, I promise." Suddenly I snap back into reality and I begin to chase after this crazy wench. While running through the store, I yell for people to stop her and that she's kidnapping my son, and thankfully a worker stops her before she makes the exit. "Lady, why are you stopping me? This Mexican here is trying to kidnap my grandson." My son literally is bawling his eyes out and extending his arms out calling for me. This lady was relentless and would not let go until my son, even after he slaps her face multiple times. I laughed a little, not gonna lie. At this point a manager shows up and asks what's going on. The lady spoke before me. "Lady, this," pointing at me, "pervert is trying to kidnap my grandson and I was just trying to escape." "Me, that's my son, you freaking psycho. Now let him go." The manager didn't know what to believe. I don't blame him, he was caught in a weird situation. So I pulled out my phone and showed him pictures of me and my son that dated a year or so back as proof. This lady still would not give up and accused me of faking them. Like, how would you do that exactly? I'll never know, but whatever. Sadly, there were two other ladies there taking the psycho's side and said I was attempting to kidnap my own son because there was no way we were family because of our different skin tones. One even called the police, which I was actually happy about because I knew they'd be able to review the security cameras. Even still, I called my wife to see if she could come to the store to get this situation cleared up quicker. As soon as I told her what was going on, she zoomed to the store. She got there about the same time as the police. The crazy ladies were giving their statement to the cops when my wife walked in. As soon as she walked in, my son goes, "Mama, help." My wife is a true mama bear and she immediately flew into a rage when she saw this lady holding my son. "Wife, let him go now." "Lady, sorry sweetie, I was just trying to protect him from this pervert over here." Lady 2, "Yeah, we saw him trying to kidnap him, but this lady saved him." The cop looks at the lady and is confused. "Officer, I thought this was your grandson?" "Wife, I have no idea who that lady is." She takes out her phone and shows the officer a picture of my mother-in-law. "Lady, okay, I'm sorry, he's not my grandson, but I was only trying to protect him from this dirty pervert over here." Lady 2, "Yeah, I witnessed the whole thing. He snatched that child and tried to run away with him, but this lady stopped it." Lady 3, "Yes, I saw it too. He needs to be arrested. And you," pointing to my wife, "should be thankful that this lady was here to save your son because you obviously just let him loose wherever." "Wife, who are you talking about again?" All three crazy ladies pointed at me. "Wife, oh, you mean my husband?" Lady 1, "Husband?" "Wife, yeah, who do you think called me and got me here so fast?" I presented my ID to the officer and the manager, and my wife did the same. We also each showed pictures of us on our phones to prove we were really a family. The cop nodded in approval and handed us our phones back and jotted down a few notes. The three ladies for some reason still kept trying to say this was all fake and my wife was in on the kidnapping and said we needed to be arrested. My wife lost it at this point and let off some colorful words I won't repeat here, but she definitely got her point across. Then the nail in the coffin came for the psycho trio. The office turned to the manager and asks, "Officer, sir, do the cameras work here?" Manager, "Yes, we have them inside and out." Officer, "Okay, great, let's go review." The three ladies' faces went pale. Like ghostly pale. The officer reviewed the outside camera as I pulled into the parking lot and saw me take my son out of my car, and then as I went up and down the aisles, and most importantly, the instance the woman snatched up my son and began to run. Upon his return he asks, "Officer, would you like to press charges?" Lady 1, "Yes, I would." Officer, "Why would I be asking you that question? Shut your mouth and sit down." He turns to me and repeats the question. Me, absolutely. Lady 1 was charged with attempted kidnapping, false imprisonment, providing a false police report, and child endangerment. The other two were also charged with providing a false police report as well. To make matters worse for Lady 1, my son bruises easily and she left some terrible spots on him from where she was grasping him, but he's fine. This added a charge of child abuse to her rap sheet. I have court later this year, but I'm not sure when because of COVID. The officer will be following up with me in a few weeks. Sorry for the length. Edit, wow, wasn't expecting this to blow up. Edit 2, thank you for the hug and gold awards, kind strangers. Edit 3, to everyone whom has commented and shown support, thank you. I tried my best to respond to you all, but the messages came through so fast and I couldn't keep up. But thank you again. Edit 4, if you commented on my post negatively, well, that's on you and your miserable self. But if you said anything in regards to my son, then you can go screw yourself. I love how there are so many experts on here that know so much about my son, who you've never met. I posted this to vent my experience and get it off my chest. But whatever, I have nothing to prove to you. Edit 5, hi everyone, sorry I kinda went off grid. But I should have a real update soon. Apparently, the lady involved is connected to local police through family, so they're trying to be real quiet and drag this out as much as possible. But we have managed to get a court date in October. No date exactly yet. But trust me, I'll post as soon as I have more info. Oh God. At least these women are getting the punishment they deserve for harassing you and your son. Please keep us updated as this keeps going. Do you think this was a ruse to actually kidnap your son? This is just crazy. And the fact she was trying to leave and say it was her grandson. Did the other ladies know her? Seems to me that it might have been more a kidnap attempt and less of an EP. Honestly, I didn't even think of that. It may have been. Because the other two conveniently kept chiming in. Ugh, but I'm glad they all got in trouble. I'm Caucasian and my kids are Chinese. I was accused by a customs inspector of child trafficking, despite having all the paperwork with me. Weirdly, that's only happened that one time. My oldest, 18F, has informed me that it's only happened once because of white privilege. Sadly, I can't disagree. Glad you pressed charges against those women. I hope your son is okay. I'm so done with my BF's entitled friend. Sorry if this isn't the correct place to post. I just need to get this off my chest. I, 22F, have been dating my M22 boyfriend for 5 years now. We've been living together in a small town, very close to where he grew up with his friend, 22F. His friend Sarah has always been very vocal about how much she loves him, how she knows him so well, how she has even seen him naked as kids, how she is like his sister, etc. etc. They only see each other about once a month. She has been our house about 3 times. Something important about me, I was S8 a few months before dating my now BF. This was something that impacted me and has ruined certain aspects of my life. The guy who did it is a well-known person around the area, which means that from time to time I run into him. This brings me so much anxiety, so much pain, and the only way to feel better is venting about it. Sarah was at my house one time. I started bawling about it and decided to trust her, big mistake. I told her everything. She knew the guy actually tried to get with her before, and she acted so compassionate and kind in front of me. One day we were having some dinner as a group. It was my BF, Sarah, and other people I didn't know. Sarah asked my boyfriend what he was planning to do after uni. My boyfriend, I'm not sure yet. Me, why not a master's degree? Sarah, God OP. Stop pressuring him. He's worked so hard all his life, give him a break and let him decide what to do. She said it in such an aggressive tone. Mind you, I was just suggesting. I've never told my boyfriend he had to do something. He grabbed my hand and squeezed it, telling me it was alright and that he didn't think I was forcing him to do something. Then, Sarah asked what his future plans were for housing. I mentioned my family has a house in the southern part of the country, maybe a 5-hour drive, and that we were planning on moving there in the future. I kid you not, these were her exact words. "Sarah, hell no. He isn't moving to the south. He's staying here. And he better not go farther away than, insert nearest city." I was a bit annoyed. Why was it when I recommended doing a master's I was forcing him to do something, yet she was prohibiting him from moving? Yet I was the controlling one? Anyways, Sarah then started talking about ex-boyfriends, and said she didn't mind if any of her friends got with her exes. I mentioned something to her like, I'd warn the girl first. I don't want anyone to suffer what I suffered. Sarah blew up. She was red in the face. These were her words. "Sarah, how dare you throw yourself in the middle of a relationship? Are you that possessive that you can't let your ex be happy? You're not over your ex, and I can tell. You cried about him the other day. You're hurting BF by not telling him the truth." She was accusing me of all these things. And then the cherry on top. "Sarah, BF hasn't been the same since you two are together. He's so quiet. He hasn't talked to me all day. You two keep showing affection in front of us all the time. I've seen him naked as a kid and I know him so well. You're no good for him." She was annoyed at us holding hands and hugging each other in front of her. I started crying over her tone and her accusations. I'm very sensitive. And then she said something that made me bawl even harder. "Sarah, I'm so sure you lied about your essay. If it were actually true, you would have gone to the police. What did he do to you exactly?" I blew up and told her in detail what he did to me in front of others. I was so embarrassed when I realized I told a bunch of strangers something so personal. "Sarah, you're such a manipulator. Remember when I met you, you were crying over your weight?" Sarah kept throwing things that made no sense. Anything she could, she was throwing it into my face. She has an ED, and she threw my own self-esteem issues into my face. I wasn't expecting my BF to say anything. Not only is he incredibly bad at confrontation due to years of abuse from his family, he's terrified of her. She has been like a sister, yeah, but as that big sister who bullied him as well. Anyways, we're moving to the south in a few months. "Opie, I'm sorry you have to deal with this." Sarah sounds awful. "I hope you and BF are in agreement to go low contact with her, although I just ghost her. She's definitely jealous of other women is BF life, and it will not get better going forward, only worse. Just in case has cameras and security on the new house." Entitled girl gets a ride. My work friend, M25, and I, F40, drove to an all-night coffee shop after working a grueling evening shift at our job. Inside the restaurant was a girl, 20, who was pretty much sleeping at a table. The employee, who we've known for years, said that she had been stranded here by her boyfriend. She had no money and no way to get home. She lived in another city an hour away. My coworker offered to drive her home as long as I went along. I said okay. We went up to this poor girl and said that if she still needed a ride home we could do it. She lit up and said, "Really?" I said yeah. She got in the back seat and immediately began ching about the quality of the car and the mess inside it. "Can't afford a better car? There's nowhere to put my feet because of all the trash." I said beggars can't be choosers, thinking this would shut her up. No, it didn't. You could at least clean your car once in a while, and sat there pouting. My coworker, who thus far had been silent, said, "Shut up and be grateful for the ride." She said I'd be more grateful in a car built this century. FYI, his car is 10 years old. We finally get to the city and pull up to her house. She got out, and instead of saying thank you for getting me out of a bad situation, she said, "Hey, race, a tip: if you're going to give people rides in this poor excuse for a car, at least keep it clean." She flounced away. We looked at each other and laughed at her audacity. As we drove home, he said, "Next time I want to do this, just say no or remind me of this." When she started complaining about all the trash, should have stopped the car. When she asked why you stopped, tell her she's right, and you wanted to dump the trash that's in the back seat, then make her get out. I would have done the same thing and told her, no wonder your BF left you stranded, probably couldn't stand your entitlement. Should have just circled back to the restaurant and said, "Sorry about that," and just left. Talk about self-entitlement. The audacity of some people. Y'all were nicer than me, though. I wouldn't have been able to resist getting an "I see why he left" jab in after that attitude. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.